on your side. This is News 3 Saturday morning.
Good morning, and thank you for waking up with us here on News 3 Saturday morning. I'm Hannah James, filling in for Carissa DiAgostino. We're following the latest details in a potential drowning victim from Lake Harding last night, where dozens of emergency officials conducted a search. Lee County Sheriff Jay Jones tells News 3 his office responded to reports of 2 individuals in the water around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Sheriff Jones says preliminary reports suggest a child around the age of 6 entered the water and an adult male, possibly his father, went in after him. The man was reportedly able to successfully lift the child into an assisting boat, but went under the water himself shortly after. Sheriff Jones says a search was conducted west of Long Bridge at Lee Road 379. Officials say a body has not yet been recovered. Investigators are set to continue the search later this morning. Stay with News 3 on air and online as we continue to gather more details. Meanwhile, the search for an Alabama inmate and a corrections officer who disappeared last week is now stretching into a second week. Yesterday, authorities in Middle Tennessee began combing through a rural area of Williamson County. That's where an orange Ford SUV believed to belong to former corrections officer Vicki White was found abandoned last week. Police believe Vicki White and capital murder suspect Casey White used the car as a getaway vehicle after walking out of Lauderdale County last Friday. Lauderdale County Sheriff Rick Singleton says it appears the pair abandoned the car in Tennessee just hours after their escape. Investigators believe the suspects abandoned the car after experiencing mechanical difficulties. The vehicle was towed last Friday to an impound lot where it sat for nearly a week before being identified. Authorities say they believe the two are no longer in the Middle Tennessee area. Vicki and Casey White are believed to be armed and dangerous. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey and U.S. Marshals are offering various rewards for information that leads to the location and arrest of both suspects. And to follow the latest on this developing story, download our news app and don't forget to turn on the notifications while we work to give you the latest updates as they enter our newsroom. Weather forecaster Brian Thomas joins us now with a forecast as you wake up. Brian, what can people expect today?
Well, it's going to be really nice today. Pretty nice, actually, a little bit below average for this time of the year. Our high is normally about 83 degrees today, but today we're going to top out about 79. It's going to be a great day to really get outside and enjoy the weather.
Thanks so much, Brian. And yesterday, the National Infantry Museum unveiled a brand new exhibit, one that honors a woman whose legacy will inspire generations to come. The National Infantry Museum is filled with stories of bravery and honor, and Major Kristen Greist's legacy has undoubtedly earned a spot in those ranks. Major Greist is known for being a first. She was among the first 2 women to graduate Ranger School. She became the first woman to serve in the U.S. Army Infantry. She commanded the first gender integrated infantry company, and before Friday's unveiling, Greist was promoted to the grade of Major. The ceremony was filled with the mentors who inspired her along the way, as well as several young women in uniform who looked to her for inspiration. As several young women work to follow in her footsteps, she's headed to the West Point to raise up the next generation of cadets. Museum Director Scott Dubrow spoke at the event and said in part, quote, "As a girl dad, if his daughter ever doubts herself or doesn't think her dreams are possible, he will be able to point to this exhibit. She'll be able to see with her own eyes that women are capable of anything," end quote. To more celebratory news now, the Chattahoochee Valley Community College held its 2022 commencement ceremony Friday morning. The ceremony was held at the Columbus Convention and Trade Center. About 240 students have met graduation requirements. Half of that number walked in the ceremony. The graduating class prevailed through the early days of the pandemic. CVCC President Jackie Screws spoke on the accomplishment. And on behalf of us here at WRBL, congratulations, graduates. And as we head into the break, we want to thank you for waking up with us here on News 3 Saturday morning. Coming up after the break, we'll see how the LaGrange College Panthers continue to power their way through the postseason. But first, Brian has a look at your weekend forecast.
And we could see some clouds this afternoon, but the rain stays away for your coming Saturday, or excuse me, for your Saturday. Coming up in a bit, I'm going to show you what you can expect for the rest of the weekend, and we'll take a peek at the week ahead. Hang tight.
News 3 is on your side with Carissa DiAgostino, and weather forecaster Brian Thomas has your first alert forecast.